And then, the worst part happens. The hunger slowly returns, and the guilt is overridden by the uncontrollable need to feed. Again, they are prisoners, trapped inside their own rotting bodies. They are immortal, godlike beings, eternally punished for a crime they couldn't control. They devoured the entire universe, leaving behind a hollow, empty void of space. And yet, they are still starving. The darkest reality isn't dark because everyone died. It's dark because the people who survived are forced to live with the ghosts of everything they destroyed. Earth 2149 teaches us a terrifying lesson. Power without control isn't a gift. It is a plague. It forces us to ask how fragile the line is between a protector and a predator, and what happens when the moral compass of the universe is shattered by a simple biological virus. What if the people you trusted to save the world were the exact reason it ended? When we think of the multiverse, we usually think of endless possibilities. A reality where the bad guy wins, or a reality where a different person wears the mask. We find comfort in the idea that across infinite dimensions, good usually triumphs over evil. But infinity is a terrifying concept. Because if everything is possible, it means that somewhere out there, the absolute worst-case scenario has already happened. Today, we are looking into the abyss. We are traveling to Earth 2149. A universe that holds a story so bleak, so violently hopeless, that it remains one of the most disturbing pieces of lore in comic book history. We aren't talking about a world conquered by a villain. We are talking about a world where the heroes won. And then, they ate everything. This is the story of the superhero apocalypse. And trust me, the true horror of this reality isn't the blood. It's what happens inside their minds. To understand how a world of gods and super geniuses falls, you have to realize, this wasn't your typical zombie apocalypse. In normal pop culture, a zombie outbreak is a slow decay. It starts in a hospital, spreads through a city, and humanity slowly loses ground to a horde of mindless, shambling corpses. But on Earth 2149, the apocalypse didn't take years. It didn't take months. It took exactly 24 hours. It started with a flash in the sky. An infected superhero from another dimension crashed into New York City, carrying a virus of unknown origin. The Avengers responded immediately, exactly as they were trained to do. They went to contain the threat. They went to save lives. And in doing so, They doomed the entire planet. Within minutes, the world's greatest protectors were bitten. But this virus was different. It didn't turn them into mindless, groaning monsters. It kept their intelligence perfectly intact. It kept their memories, their tactical brilliance, and their mastery over their superpowers. The only thing it changed was their biology, replacing their humanity with an agonizing, insatiable hunger for living flesh. Imagine a speedster who can run across the globe in seconds. But now, his only goal is to find food. He didn't just bite one person. He infected entire continents. Before governments even knew what was happening. Imagine the world's greatest scientists using their unparalleled intellect not to cure the disease, but to design traps to capture survivors more efficiently. The trauma of Earth 2149 is the complete subversion of hope. Every superpower that was once a miracle, every ability that made humanity feel safe, became a weapon of mass extinction. The heroes didn't fail to save the world. They actively hunted it to extinction. As terrifying as the initial outbreak was, the true nightmare of this reality lies in the logical progression of their hunger. What happens when the world's smartest and strongest beings run out of normal food? Once the human population was entirely consumed, the infected heroes didn't turn on each other. They organized. They waited. And then the cosmos delivered a miracle. The Silver Surfer arrived to announce the coming of his master, Galactus, the devourer of worlds, a godlike entity who feeds on the energy of entire planets. In any normal reality, this is the ultimate threat. The heroes must band together, dig deep into their courage, and find a way to repel the cosmic giant. But Earth 2149 was no longer a normal reality. When the infected heroes looked up at the sky and saw a god descending from the stars, they didn't feel fear. They felt hungry. In one of the most shocking displays of power in comic book history, the infected heroes swarmed the Silver Surfer and consumed him, absorbing his cosmic energy. And when Galactus finally arrived to consume the Earth ate him instead. This is the core logic of the darkest reality. The apex predators of the universe were dethroned by consuming Galactus. The infected heroes absorbed his cosmic abilities. They became a swarm of undead gods. They left the barren wasteland of Earth behind and took to the stars, traveling from planet to planet, galaxy to galaxy, consuming everything in their path. The universe became an all-you-can-eat buffet. They became the very thing they used to fight against, a universal threat of annihilation. But unlike Thanos, who wanted to balance the universe, or Ultron, who wanted to replace it with metal, these corrupted heroes had no grand philosophy, no higher purpose, no vision for a better future. They were entirely slaves to their biological urges. Up until this point, this story just sounds like a brutal, gory horror comic. But the climax of Earth 2149 isn't physical. It's entirely psychological. And this is where the true, heartbreaking flaw in their existence reveals itself. Remember when I said the virus kept their minds perfectly intact? That is the ultimate curse. Because the hunger is overwhelming. It acts like a drug. While they are starving, they are remorseless, cruel monsters. But when they finally eat, when their hunger is temporarily satisfied, everything changes. The hunger fades. And when the hunger fades, their original personalities return. Imagine waking up from a fever dream, looking down at your hands, and realizing what you have done. The tragedy of this universe is embodied in its most beloved heroes. Take the guy from Queens, the hero who always believed that with great power comes great responsibility. After the initial outbreak, when his hunger temporarily subsided, he realized that in his frenzy, he had gone home. He had consumed his own wife and the aunt who raised him. He didn't lose his mind. He remembers every single second of it. He is forced to sit in the ruins of his life, weeping beneath a tattered mask, crushed by a guilt so profound it would break any normal human being. He begs for death, but he can't die.